Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am Dalton. This is Arms and Farms. You're watching the Full Lawn Farming YouTube channel. Today is a busy day. We've got a lot going on. Grandpa and Caleb, actually it's about to be Uncle Rob and Caleb, are out mowing triticale. They should get the rest of that laid down here today. My truck is getting the PTO finished up on it, so I can't haul manure this morning. So what we're going to do is we're going to go rip in the manure that I spread a couple days ago right up here at the neighbors. It's just a small field. I don't know what it is, 12 acres, something like that. So yeah, we get to do a little bit of tillage, which is exciting. I don't do a lot of deep ripping. Generally that's something that Jack does. But so we're in the 9560R and we got a 4850 Kuhn dominator behind us. It's got a set of straight discs, and it's got deep ripper shanks, another row of deep ripper shanks, and then it's got 2 rows of offset discs in the back. We're going to be pulling about 12 inches approximately is where I've got it set to pull. Our hard pan's usually at 8 to 10 inches. So we're going to try pulling at 12 inches. We'll see what the manure situation feels like. You know, I don't know if the field's going to be real wet or not. I'm not sure, but we're going to figure that out. What I mean by too wet is the field itself was pretty dry before we put manure on it, but we did slather 10,000 gallons of DAs on it a couple days ago. Now yesterday, it was a beautiful day, 80 and breezy. So we actually got something to dry out yesterday. There is a chance of rain tonight and like a 20% chance of rain tomorrow. But then we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning that are supposed to be sunny. Only supposed to be in the upper 60s, but supposed to be sunny. So our thought is if we can get that field worked up, you know, by tomorrow, Monday, it should be able to get planted. Granted, we will be chopping that triticale, so it's going to be kind of a cluster. It's kind of when everything's going to be ready all at once just because we've been waiting on good weather. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting week. It's going to be a busy week, and hopefully it's going to be a very productive week. Obviously that's our goal, but we shall see. We'll have the full crew here next week. Meaning there was a wedding this weekend with a family friend, so that's done. Tyler went on a much needed vacation this week, so that's done. So next week, as far as I know, knock on wood, we'll all be here, we'll all be healthy, and we are all itching to get some stuff done. So let's cross our fingers on that. Just pulling in the driveway here. I did already rip the headlands of this field, just in case we got a lot of manure when we went to put, or a lot of rain after we put manure on it. I figured that would help prevent some runoff. But luckily we haven't gotten a lot of rain. We've just gotten, you know, some sprinkles here and there. I like to pull this machine at like 6.5 miles an hour. I think that's kind of our sweet spot. Much faster. I don't feel like you're probably getting penetrated into the ground quite as deep as you'd like. Slower than that, it's just silly. We've got plenty of tractor on this horse. So I'm gonna lower that back set of discs all the way down, the front set of discs down. We're going to drop her in and see what we can get. sometimes be a little more fidgety, just because it's got such a root base there. Trying to get it worked up and get the clumps broken up after we hit it with the disc. Sometimes you got to hit it with the disc twice to get those clumps broken up. Wet, but it's definitely not dry. Like on some of these, manure spots and the dips and stuff, it's spinning a little bit, trying to pull through. I think we're going to get an awful lot of that this spring, those kind of conditions. Side, too much moisture. Well, the more moisture the better as far as getting this stuff worked up. On really hot, dry springs, this triticale ground can be hard as a rock and not work up worth beans. I think it'd be cool to try to no-till into this stuff. I know I see quite a few people on YouTube do that. We've got some neighbors that have tried it and gone away from it, some that have tried it and stayed with it. So I think it's different for every people's ground, every corn planter, everything's different. For us, we kind of stick with conventional tillage at the moment. So this is what we're going to do. We're ripping it, disc it once, potentially twice, and plant it. So when talking about tillage, there's a bunch of different ways that a farm can till. From one extreme being no-till, zero tillage. They're not touching the soil at all. They're just planting the seed into it and going. To the other extreme, which is basically what we do, which is conventional tillage, which means you're disrupting the entire soil bed, fitting it, planting it. You're working the soil a few times, and it's a solid layer of soil across the top. In between, you got your strip tillage. You got strip tillers, which is it just cuts a narrow trench deep, right where you're going to plant that seed, only a few inches wide. Some of those are shanks. Some of those can be discs, depending on the brand and farmer's preference. Then you got the zone builders. They leave more of like an 8 to 10 inch wide zone to plant the seed into, which again, you can get very deep, but you're not disrupting the whole soil. You're just disrupting that 8 to 10 inches where the seed will be planted. One thing people forget about when they talk about tillage, because everyone always says, oh, you need to plant cover crops, you need to no-till, you need to this, that, and the other thing. But people forget, everybody's soil is different. Everybody's weather conditions are different. Everybody's management practices are different. The seed they're planting is different. Every farm does things differently, and things that work in Western New York might not work in Wisconsin and might not work in Texas, and things that they do might not work up here. It's no different than the grazing argument. People think all cows have to be on pasture. Well, they don't have to be. And to be honest with you, in the Northeast in particular, for half the year, it's not an option. Or if it's wet out, it's certainly not better for the animal. So there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat in dairy farming. That's kind of what makes it fun. But I just wanted to bring that up because that seems to be a question that pops up on other people's videos. This is my first spring with a YouTube channel, so I'm kind of trying to get ahead of that curve as far as the questions and all of that go. But yeah, there's a lot of different kinds of tillage. The tillage that we do is conventional tillage, and that's what works here. I'm not saying other things wouldn't work, but that's what's worked here in the past, so that's what we do now. And it works. It also will help dry out the soil a little faster in a wet year like this. So anyways, I got this whole upper side done. Another 10 minutes here on the bottom. We'll hit the headlands again, and we'll head back to the farm. Caleb went to mow. He took Grandpa's spot. Grandpa's heading to an auction actually today. There's a couple dump carts that are selling. He's going to go see if get a deal on any of them. If not a big deal. There's lots of options as far as hiring in people to help us. But he just figured if we can get an okay dump cart. Honestly, this is the first year in like 3 years we've even pulled our dump cart out of the shed. So it's kind of hard to go out and invest in a new one. We did price out new ones, and they're around $80,000 to $85,000, which is an awful lot for something that you don't want to use and probably aren't going to use more years than not. So we figured if we can get another older used one, that would be a pretty good option. So he was going to go to an auction, so Caleb took his spot in the mower. So there is still a few loads of feed that we got to feed to the cows. So when I'm done ripping here, I'm going to go check on that and see, depending on if Uncle Todd's back first or if I'm back first. One of the two of us will do that. As soon as I get the call that the manure truck's done, we're going to run and grab that, get that hooked up and ready to roll. Grandpa did mention maybe later this afternoon, if this field dries out, maybe I should disc it so he could plant in the morning. I don't have high hopes for this being dry enough by the afternoon, but it's certainly an option. And if it's marginal, I will hit it because that's the kind of year we're going to have. And if it's still not dry enough, but we miss the rain, I'll come in early in the morning and I'll hit it ahead of him so he can get this field planted, just so we can get under motion a little bit here. But yeah, we're gonna keep on keeping on here. All right, we're back home. I quickly unhooked the ripper, and we just clipped onto this thing here. We bought this last year. So this is actually, I don't know if this is the first time we've done. Might be the first time we've done alfalfa with it. I don't know. There. So she's clipped on. It's as simple as that. Ag Pro 16, and then we got the 4200. So they're the same width, just 12 years newer. A little different design. This one goes a lot higher. And everything works. This one pretty much is just up and down. The other controls, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, so we pretty much don't touch that. But this one's got the tilt, so. Go down, put some fuel in her, throw some grease in her, and she'll be ready to rock. All right, well, I had a little bit here before lunch. Figured I might as well top this fertilizer tank off so that way Grandpa doesn't got to do it. If he does end up planting tomorrow, we shall see. There was a wet spot in the bottom corner of that field. There's a pretty good possibility we'll just plant around it, but we will see. But either way, it'd be nice to have this filled up. So those of you guys who are new to the channel, 1775 NT, 12-row corn planter. John Deere, everything. There's no precision, anything like that. 8330 with brand spanking new rear rubber. That's exciting. And then we've got this little tender truck that we built a long time ago here. Just a small tank. Got just a Harbor Freight Special on the back there doing all the work. Then you got a tank to wash your hands. So pretty simple little setup. We'll just get her topped off. Try not to overflow it everywhere because we're filming here. Then I figured I got that full, I might as well top this off. So pump it out of our 1034O tank here. We got two silos 1034O. We got 3 silos with nitrogen in them. I'm gonna head up and check the 8850, check the fuel status and that. We've got that hooked to the dump cart. We've got checking here on the ladies. What are you doing there, sweetheart? Huh? She's a Hardin out of 6494, so pretty good little calf there. Genetically, anyways. We'll see what she turns out to be. I think she looks like a pretty nice calf. What do you think, girls? Hipster. As a captain, we are still using captain, even though we've literally got 3rd lactation captains on the farm. He's still number 1, and we really like our captain daughters, so we're still using them. Genius, Duffy, Hipster, Mechanic, Sanborn, another captain, another Hipster, Outfit, Hipster, Outfit, Hipster, and a Thorson daughter. And those of you guys new to the channel, every now and then I'll just walk through heifer barns or calves or cows, and I'll just call out the sires like that, because I get a lot of questions on what sires we use and the reasons why and all of that. So I'll just kind of point out the sires that we use, and people can look them up. And especially with the milk cows, you're able to get a pretty good look at what some bulls you might have questions on will look like as milk cows. I don't know. I like to do it. I do it even when I'm not taping. I just say it out loud, take a mental note of what each bull looks like when they're on the ground. So I'm tempted to come in and disc this little field here. Obviously that bottom spot's wet, but maybe we just leave the bottom 2 acres and hit the upper part. We can't deep rip this field because it's right above our barns. We got well lines and stuff that in theory should be deep, but theory's not good enough. I don't trust snagging an internet line or a well line or electric or something like that. So we generally just disc and plant this field. All right, well, right before lunch, I made the judgment call. I said, well, the heck with it. We're just gonna pull direct with the tractor and spread it from the farm. Generally, we don't really like doing that. It's faster with the truck, no matter how you slice it, unless you're going right by the farm. This field's about a mile down the road, but not a big deal. Like I said, I still haven't heard on the truck, which isn't a big deal either, because I can just pull direct. And I am hauling 1,500 gallons more per load like this. So even being a little bit slower, if you're hauling a little bit more, I still think it's maybe a little bit slower, but it's all right. It's also one less guy. It's just a little bit more work for the tractor pulling this up the hill, but not a big deal. So we're gonna depending on what comes up, we might do this for the afternoon. Not totally sure. Grandpa called and said he might end up being there till the middle of the night of that auction for those dump carts. He said they just got rolling on big equipment now, and it's 11:45. So we'll see. We'll see. I think he's having a good time. I think. Pretty potent stuff. So this lagoon, there's no parlor water, there's no rainwater. It's also the dry cow manure and the fresh group. So you got all of the cleanings for 1,000 cow herd, and dry cow manure that's always thick, not watery. So yeah, it is should grow some corn. I'll leave it at that, which is good because, as I've explained, triticale eats a lot of food. So to be able to grow a triticale crop and grow a corn crop, the more food the better. Alrighty, well, the 3 o'clock shower showed up a little bit early. Not the end of the world. I mean, we were getting dry anyway, so can't even see out the windows, it's raining so hard. But oh well, we'll go back to the farm. Maybe it's not raining there. I don't. It happens a lot where it's raining here but not at the farm, so we'll give it a shot. Well, this is 3 minutes later. Sure would be cool if that's all we got. I mean, it was a lot in a hurry, but it actually rained so hard, I think a lot of it probably just gonna run off. I mean, it's not like the ground has any more room to soak anything up, so yeah, I think we'll be just fine. Neighbor got all his rye scraped up. We got a field right here on the corner that's we mowed this morning, so. It looks like it's a little bit thinner. So this fall, we did quite a bit of looking as to figure out how much seed to put down. And a lot of people said just 20 pounds to the acre was plenty. And that's what I did down here, and it is noticeably thinner. I upped it to 25 in some other spots. This field also didn't get manure before I drilled it, so that definitely hurt it. But I think we're going to stick with that 25 to 30 pounds to the acre of triticale seed this fall, because you can notice a difference, that's for sure. All right, well, we're going to give it a shot here. As long as I'm not dragging mud out onto the road, I'll be fine. I just don't want to make a mess of the road. So we'll see how this first load goes, but yeah, if I can keep rocking, I'm going to keep right on rocking. If not, well, then, shoot, I guess. What are you going to do? Well, I hauled for a couple hours. Now we're getting another shot of rain, so I'm just going to call it. No point in making ruts, or like I said, I don't want to drag mud out on the road. So I'm going to help these guys get chores finished up. I'll probably go up, push up, feed, and wait to hear from Grandpa on if we got a cart or not. I'll have to either go get that tonight or tomorrow. It's about an hour and 45 minutes by truck, but if I hook that to my pickup and tow it, I'll probably only go 35 mile an hour, maybe 40 depending on how it trails. So it's going to be probably a 3.5 to 4 hour ride back home. So, and I certainly don't want to make that in the dark, so that might be a tomorrow thing. But anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and end the video here. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. This video, as always, go watch some of my other videos too. We got lots of wild things on my channel. So yeah, rock on, guys. Thanks for watching.